Bonjour French students, bienvenue au vidéo 9 du chapitre 5, le vidéo final. So welcome to the last video of chapter 5. Okay, the topic of our last video is going to be les pronoms le, la, l'apostrophe, et les. Okay, so notice that we're focusing on pronouns, pronom, and basically what we're looking at here are direct object pronouns. So I'm going to put that over here just as kind of a note to ourselves, because that is exactly what we are learning in this lesson, all about direct object pronouns. The other thing that might look familiar about these words is they're also definite articles in French. So I might say something like le livre, so that would be the book, and I'm using the masculine article le. I might say la bibliothèque. Oops. Okay, and that is the library. So I have the masculine article la, not masculine, the feminine article la before bibliothèque. Okay, I could say l'homme. Okay, it happens to be a masculine noun, but because it begins with a vowel sound, I'm putting the article l'apostrophe before it, just because it needs to go before words that begin with vowel sounds. I could also say in the same category, l'étudiante. And here I'm using the feminine form of student, l'étudiante, because l'apostrophe is going to go before nouns that are feminine too, that begin with a vowel. And finally, I can take any one of these and use the plural article les. So I can say les livres, or I can say les pommes, which happens to be a feminine noun. So les is used before masculine or feminine plural nouns. So the thing to know is that these words can also function as direct object pronouns. Now, what does that mean? And I think the best way to explain that is just to jump to the examples we see right here. So, tu prends ce maillot. Okay, a maillot would be like maillot de bain, so like a swimsuit. And just to kind of think about this, and we can even color code it. Okay, tu, I'm going to put in red. Prends, I'm going to put in blue. And maillot, or ce maillot, I will put in green. So we have three different colors. So we're thinking of this sentence as subject, verb, object. So tu would be the subject, okay, you are doing something. Prends is the verb, and it would be take. Ce maillot would be the swimsuit. That's the object of the verb prends, because you're taking something. That thing is directly attached to that noun. They're going together. So if let's say I'm responding to that question and I don't want to repeat maillot, I could say oui, je prends le maillot, or je prends ce maillot. It's possible to repeat and say it back exactly like that, but maybe it sounds like a little bit repetitive and you wouldn't do that in real life. So we want to use a direct object pronoun to replace maillot. So let's say in English, are you taking the swimsuit? You might say, yes, I'm taking it. Okay, and it would come at the end of our sentence. Okay, I would put it after the verb. I'm taking it. In French, it's not that way though. The object is going to get moved before the verb. So oui, je le prends is like saying, and I'm going to put this in green because it's representing ce maillot. So it's like I'm saying, yes, it take. So the word order changes a little bit between English and French in that sense. So je le prends. So le, which would also serve as the masculine definite article, is now going to become a pronoun, and we move it before the verb. And we can see this pattern in all the other sentences. Okay, tu prends cette robe aussi? So tu, I'm going to put it in red, prends, I'm going to put in blue, and cette robe I will put in green. Aussi isn't like an adjective to describe how or the circumstances under which you're going to take it. Aussi would be now. Okay, so are you going to take this dress? Oh no, it's not now, it's also. You're going to take this dress also? Oui, je la prends. Okay, I'm going to put that in green because it represents cette robe, so this dress. Okay, same thing we can see over here. Tu achètes cette chemise. Achète is buy. So are you buying this shirt? Okay, so I'm going to put this in green. Tu achètes cette chemise? Oui, je l'achète. And because acheter or achète, when it's conjugated, begins with a vowel sound, I'm going to use L apostrophe. And finally, tu achètes ces bottes? Are you buying these boots? And when I turn it into these, or I'm going to buy them, then I'm going to put it before the verb acheter, and I'm going to highlight it in green so we see the relationship there. So, tu achètes ces bottes? Oui, je les achète. So basically, whatever the object of the verb is, you need to know if it's masculine, feminine, or plural, and then you decide what to put before the verb when you transform the sentence. Okay, and this chart kind of gives you an overview of that. So whenever it's him or it and it's a masculine noun, you're going to use le. If it happens to be before a vowel or a word that begins with a silent H like then you're going to use L apostrophe. Okay, same thing with a feminine noun, you're going to use la or L apostrophe if it comes before a vowel or a silent H. And if it's them, if it's referring to a plural object, then you're going to use les, no matter what. Okay, so hopefully all that color coding helps you see sort of what happens when you transform a noun that serves as an object of a verb and you need to turn it into a pronoun. Okay, now where does it get placed in the sentence? And you can see some examples, some more examples of this. So, tu aimes cette chemise? Do you like this blouse? Oui, je l'aime bien. Okay, so I'm taking chemise, and because aimer begins with a vowel, I'm going to move it in front of the verb. Okay, so cette chemise, je l'aime bien. Okay, so I have replaced cette chemise with the word that means it in this case, and I put it in front of the verb. And the same thing if I'm making the sentence negative, all I'm doing is putting ne and pas around the verb like normal, and the direct object pronoun is still staying in the same place. So, je ne l'aime pas. Pretty straightforward. Okay, you see that we also do this with the pronoun I, le pronom I, which means there. So, tu vas au centre commercial. Are you going to the mall, basically, or shopping center? Okay, oui, j'y vais. So, I comes before the verb. I'm going there. So, there is kind of like the direct object pronoun in this case. Or non, je n'y vais pas. Okay, so in both cases, we're putting either the direct object pronoun or le pronom I before the verb. And if you happen to have a conjugated verb plus an infinitive, like with the futur immédiat, tu vas acheter cette chemise? Are you going to buy this shirt? Oui, je vais l'acheter. The object is going to go before the infinitive verb. Okay, so cette chemise, I can put that in green. I can also highlight the direct object pronoun that goes with it in green. So, je vais l'acheter. Okay, I am going to buy it. Or non, je ne vais pas l'acheter. So, ne and pas goes around the conjugated form of aller. And then the direct object pronoun goes before the infinitive. Je ne vais pas l'acheter. All right. And finally, if we are going to be using this with passé composé, basically it works the same way. You know, you're going to have a conjugated verb like j'ai fait. Okay, I did it or I made it. Okay, and the direct object pronoun is going to go in front of the entire conjugated verb, basically the conjugated form of avoir. So, je l'ai fait. I did it. Je ne l'ai pas fait. Okay, so ne and pas is going to go around avoir, and the direct object pronoun is going to stay in front of the conjugated form of avoir. Je ne l'ai pas fait. I didn't do it. J'y suis allé, or je n'y suis pas allé. Now, notice that we have some agreement in parentheses there for gender, and that's because whenever you conjugate in passé composé with être, the verb that the past participle generally agrees with the object you've put before it. So, j'y suis allé, if that place happens to be a feminine noun like bibliothèque, if I say je suis allé à la bibliothèque, and then I say j'y suis allé, because bibliothèque is represented by this pronoun y, it's a feminine place, so I need to make the noun or the past participle agree with that. Or je n'y suis pas allé. Again, I'm doing the same thing. I just said I didn't go there. Okay. And a couple of example sentences to look at down here, more with agreement. Oh, Eric a acheté cette chemise. So Eric bought this shirt. Il l'a acheté hier. Okay, so when I'm putting that direct object pronoun before my passé composé, il l'a acheté hier. He bought it yesterday. Cette chemise is a feminine noun. So whenever you stick a direct object pronoun before a passé composé verb, you have to make that passé composé verb agree. Or Kathy a acheté ses pulls. Le pull is masculine. It happens to be in the plural form here, but is still a masculine noun. So, elle les a achetés ce matin. Les goes back to ses pulls. And then we need to make it agree for number, so we'll add an S to the end. Takes a little bit of getting used to remember to do that, but whenever we have that direct object pronoun coming before a passé composé verb, then you need to start thinking about agreement. Okay, so the main thing I think to remember from this is going back to that first slide. If you keep these 4 sentences in your mind, you know that object coming after the verb, when you replace it with a pronoun, it's going to move before the verb, and it's going to be whatever gender that noun is. So, tu prends ce maillot, je le prends. Tu prends cette robe, je la prends. Tu achètes ces bottes? Oui, je les achète. Okay, so there's a pattern to follow there. So this wraps up chapitre 5. C'est la fin. It's the end. So hopefully that gives you some good preparation for your chapter 5 exam. Please let me know if you have any questions, doubts, or concerns, and I'll see you all in chapitre 6, chapter 6. Au revoir!